Listen to me. I don't know who told you that pain was a punishment. I don't know who convinced you that struggle means you're losing. But I came here to break that lie and speak life into your situation. You are not broken. You are being built. Yeah, I know you're tired. I know you feel like you've given everything and still come up short. You cried in silence, smiled in pain, and kept walking when everything inside you screamed to stop. But hear me loud and clear. Your struggle has a purpose. You're not going through this for nothing. That pain you feel is producing something in you. That hardship is building a version of you that comfort could never create. Champions are made on stage. They're made in the dark. They're made in the trenches. They're made when the world stops clapping, when nobody believes in you, not even you, and you still show up. You still grind. You still fight. You think diamonds form under soft pressure? No, they're formed under heat, under weight, under conditions most things can't survive. So stop thinking your struggle is meant to break you. It's meant to make you. You've been asking why me. I need you to flip that. Start saying, why not me? Why shouldn't you be the one to overcome? Why shouldn't you be the one to why? Why shouldn't you be the one to rise? Why shouldn't he be the example your families never had? Listen, pain is a signal. It's telling you something shifting. It's waking up the giant inside you. The one that settles for nothing. The one that refuses to quit. The one that's about to turn every ounce of pain into power. Here's the catch. Power doesn't just show up. You gotta earn it. You gotta dig deep. You gotta get up when it's easier to stay down. You gotta move when it hurts. You gotta push past the tears, past the rejection, past the doubt. Because that pain, that's the price. And power is your payment. So let me ask you, are you ready to cash in? You didn't survive all that just to play small. You didn't endure that storm to hide in the shade. You didn't cry all those nights to settle for average. Nah, you're different. You've been tested. You've been forged in fire. So now it's time to rise. Turn your pain into purpose. Turn your scars into stories. Turn your struggle into strength. The world doesn't need another copy. It needs your truth. Your fight, your fire. You've got something special inside you. Don't you dare waste it. Let the pain fuel you. Let it remind you of what you've been through, and more importantly, of what you're about to become. Because your story isn't over. It's just getting started. Let's get it. Struggle is often misunderstood. Most people view it as a sign of weakness, a detour from the path to success, or even a punishment for not being good enough. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Struggle is not the enemy. Struggle is not the thing holding you back. Struggle is the very force shaping who you are becoming. It's not a sign that you're failing. It's evidence that you're in the process of growing. You don't level up without resistance. You don't evolve without challenge. You don't become a champion in comfort. Growth doesn't happen when things are easy. It happens when you push through the hard, when you refuse to give up, when everything in you says stop, and you keep going anyway. Think about how muscles grow. You tear them in the gym. You push them past their limits. That soreness you feel after a workout, that's your body adapting, getting stronger, rebuilding itself to be better than it was before. Life works the same way. Struggles tear you a little, stretch you, push you past what you thought was possible. But in that tearing, you're building emotional muscle. In that resistance, you're forming mental endurance. And when the pain settles, what's left behind is someone who's stronger, wiser, and more powerful than ever before. But here's the thing. Most people run from struggle. They avoid it, numb it, distract themselves from it. And in doing so, they rob themselves of the very thing that could have made them great. Because struggle isn't the end. It's the beginning of transformation. Every successful person you admire, every story that inspires you is built on a foundation of struggle. The difference is they didn't quit. They didn't let the difficulty define them. They used it. They stepped into it. They let the fire refine them instead of consume them. Struggle is your classroom. It teaches you patience when you're forced to wait. It teaches you courage when you're faced with fear. It teaches you perseverance when you want to walk away. There are lessons in the pressure. There is purpose in the pain. But you only get the reward if you stay in it long enough to learn. Too many people want the prize without paying the price. They want the strength without the suffering. They want the victory without the valley. But it doesn't work like that. You can't skip struggle and still get the strength. Still get the strength. There's something beautiful about what happens when life humbles you. When you fall flat, when you lose, when you're laughed at, ignored, rejected, doubted, that's when the real work begins. That's when you start asking the right questions. That's when your ego takes a step back and your heart steps forward. That's when you dig deeper than you ever had before. Because when struggle strips everything away, you find out what's real. You discover who you truly are. You stop chasing shallow validation and start chasing your true potential. Ultima. People want clarity, they want purpose, but they're not willing to walk through the fire that forges it. They want to know who they're meant to be, but they don't want to face what they need to go through to become it. But let me be real with you. Clarity comes through chaos. Identity is forged in adversity. When you're in the middle of the storm, when things don't make sense, when you're breaking down, that's when you're closest to breakthrough. That's where purpose starts to emerge. You don't need a perfect life to become great. You don't need every door to open for you up. There's a perch in there. What you need is struggle, because it exposes your weaknesses so you can strengthen them. It reveals your fears so you can face them. It uncovers your limits so you can break them. Struggle puts a mirror in front of you and says, this is who you are. Now, what are you going to do about it? It challenges your comfort zone, and in doing so, it pushes you towards your calling. Think about the seasons of your life where you grew the most. I guarantee they weren't easy seasons. I guarantee they weren't filled with wins, applause, or overnight success. No, they were filled with late nights, silent cries, uncertainty, and uphill battles. And yet you came out on the other side of those seasons with more resilience, more insight, more power. Why? Because the struggle developed you, it matured you. It taught you things no textbook, no podcast, no motivational quote ever could. We live in a world that tries to sell ease and comfort like it's the ultimate goal. But if you buy into that, you'll miss out on the real rewards. Comfort doesn't make you better. Comfort doesn't sharpen your skills. Comfort doesn't stretch your character. It's in the struggle that you learn how to lead yourself. It's in the struggle that you find your voice. It's in the struggle that your character is carved out. Precision. You can either run from it and stay the same, or you can lean into it and transform. And don't confuse struggling with failing. Just because it's hard doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It means you're in the game. It means you're in the middle of the process. It means you're moving. Sometimes you gotta crawl before you walk. Sometimes you gotta lose before you win. Sometimes you gotta cry before you rise. But if you stay with it, if you keep fighting, you'll realize that the struggle was the very thing that made you unstoppable. People see the success, but they don't see the struggle behind it. They see the outcome, but they don't see the journey. And that's what makes your story so powerful. Because when you struggle, when you've been broken, when you've had nothing but still kept your faith, your grit, your grind, there's a level of depth to your success that no one can replicate. Your struggle makes your success mean something. Without the struggle, the victory is hollow. It's the fight that gives it weight. It's the suffering that makes the celebration sweet. Struggle also humbles you. It reminds you that you're not entitled to anything, that every win, every inch of progress has to be earned. And when you finally reach your goals, you won't just celebrate the results. You'll honor the journey. You'll remember the nights you almost gave up. You'll remember the sacrifices you made when nobody noticed. And you'll walk with a quiet confidence, not because life got easier, but because you got stronger. You can't be great without going through something. You can't rise without resistance. The most powerful version of you isn't created in luxury, it's born in pressure. When you stop seeing struggle as the enemy and start seeing it as a gift, everything changes. You stop running. You stop complaining. You stop complaining, and you start showing up with purpose. You start treating every setback like a setup, every loss like a lesson, every obstacle like an opportunity. There is a reason life is testing you. There is something inside of you that only adversity can activate. You may not see it now. You may feel tired, discouraged, and alone. But the very fact that you're struggling is proof that you haven't given up. It's proof that you're still in the fight. And if you're still in it, that means there's still something to be gained from it. Growth doesn't happen in the absence of struggle. It happens because of it. Because in every breakdown, there's the seed of a breakthrough. In every fall, there's a chance to rise stronger. In every challenge, there's a call to become more. Pain is one of life's greatest teachers. It doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't wait for the perfect moment. Shows up uninvited and hits you where it hurts the most. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, sometimes even physically. But what most people fail to realize is that pain isn't just there to make you suffer. Pain is there to push you. Pain is the fuel. It's the spark that forces you to dig deep and discover strength you didn't even know you had. Pain has power, but only if you choose to use it. Most people run from pain. They numb it with distractions, ignore it with fake smiles, or blame the world for putting them through it. But the truth is, pain is a part of the process. There's no shortcut to growth that doesn't pass through pain. You don't build muscle without pain. You don't build character without pain. You don't build a meaningful life without walking through the fire. Pain is not your punishment. It's your preparation. It's the hammer that shapes the steel. It's the pressure that forms a diamond. It's the storm that gives birth to the strongest roots. There is a version of you, greater, stronger, more focused, more powerful. But you won't meet that version by staying comfortable. You meet them when everything falls apart. You meet them when your heart gets broken, when your plans collapse, when your back's against the wall. That's when the pain comes in, not to destroy you, but to wake you up. Pain doesn't come to take from you. It comes to reveal you. It shows you where the weakness is. It shines a light on what you need to work on. It exposes the gap between who you are and who you could be. And that's where the transformation begins. That's where the power is born. When you stop avoiding pain and start embracing it, everything changes. You start asking the right questions. Instead of a why is this happening to me, you ask, what is this trying to teach me? Instead of saying, I can't take this, you start saying, how can I grow from this? That shift in mindset is where pain turns into power. Because now you're not a victim of your circumstances. You're a student of them. Now you're learning, evolving, building strength from your struggle. Think about it. Every major breakthrough in your life was probably preceded by a season of pain. Every new level you've reached came after a time when you wanted to quit, but did. Pain shows you what matters. It strips away the unnecessary. It humbles you. It grounds you. It forces you to focus on what's real. And in doing so, it makes you dangerous in the best possible way. Because once you face pain and refuse to fold, you become unshakable. You stop fearing failure. You stop running from difficulty. You stop needing everything to be perfect. And you start becoming a force that creates impact. Pain builds mental toughness. When you go through pain and survive it, you build confidence. Not because everything went right, but because you made it through when everything went wrong. That's real confidence. That's earned strength. And nobody can give it to you. You have to go through it to get it. It can't be bought. It can't be taught. It has to be lived. It's built in the quiet moments when no one sees your tear. It's built in the lonely hours when you're wrestling with doubt, with fear, with grief, and you still show up. The people who turn pain into power are the ones who refuse to be defined by what happened to them. They don't let their story end at the point of pain. They let that pain become the fuel that drives the next chapter. They don't say, oh, look what life did to me. They say, oh, look what I did with what life gave me. That's real power. That's power rooted in purpose. Because when you've been hurt deeply and you still choose to rise, to forgive, to push forward, that's strength at its highest level. And here's the truth most people don't want to admit. Pain is inevitable. There's no path in life that's completely free of it. But what you do with that pain, that's up to you. You can let it harden you, or you can let it mold you. You can let it break you, or you can let it build you. You can let it turn you bitter, or you can let it push you toward becoming better. That's the real choice. You may not get to choose the pain, but you always get to choose the purpose it serves. Some of the most powerful people on this planet didn't come from easy lives. They came from trauma, from tragedy, from deep suffering. But they turned that suffering into a message, a mission, a movement. They didn't let their pain silence them. They let it speak through them. They turned their wounds into wisdom. They turned their heartbreak into healing for others. That's the kind of power pain can produce when you refuse to waste it. But you have to go through it. You can't shortcut it. You can't skip step. You can't pretend it's not happening and expect it to go away. You have to face it. You have to walk through it. And that's where most people tap out. They want the glory without the grind. They want the success without the sacrifice. But real power is forged in moments of extreme difficulty. It's born when you're on the edge of giving up and you dig deeper than ever before. That's when you access a part of you that you didn't even know was there. I'm gonna toss into. That's when your pain turns into purpose. Pain forces you to become more intentional. When everything is easy, it's easy to drift. But when life gets hard, you have to focus. You have to get clear. You have to ask yourself, what am I doing this for? Who am I becoming through this? And when you answer those questions with honesty, you find the motivation to keep going even when it hurts. You find meaning in the madness. You stop chasing comfort and start chasing comfort and start chasing conviction. There's a different kind of energy that comes from surviving pain. It's not hype. It's not surface level confidence. It's something deep, something unshakable. You walk differently when you walk through fire and come out stronger. You speak with more weight when your words are backed by real experience. You live with more purpose because you know what it feels like to lose it. That's the power pain gives you. If you allow it to do its work, and no pain doesn't feel good. It's not supposed to, but it's necessary. It's necessary for transformation. It's necessary for self-discovery. It's necessary for building the kind of grit and resilience that life demands from you if you want to do something meaningful. You can't avoid it. You can only choose how you respond to it. You can let it crush you, or you can let it create you. The most inspiring people in this world are not the ones who never went through anything. They're the ones who went through everything and came out with fire in their eyes. They're the ones who were knocked down, counted out, overlooked, and underestimated. But they kept showing up. They kept grinding. They kept turning pain into power one day at a time. Because they understood something most people miss. Pain is not the end. It's the beginning of becoming someone who is truly unstoppable. Adversity is the breeding ground for greatness. It's not in the sunshine that your strength is built. It's in the storm. It's in the dark, lonely nights when nothing makes sense, when every part of you wants to quit, but something inside keeps whispering, keep going. That's where the champions are forged. That's where character is built. Adversity doesn't show up to destroy you. It shows up to reveal you. It introduces you to the version of yourself that only pressure, struggle, and setback could awaken. You don't become powerful by escaping adversity. You become powerful by embracing it and rising through it. We live in a world that often glamorizes success, shows off the wins, the highlights, the trophies, but hides the adversity it took to get there. People see the results and assume they happen overnight. But behind every win is a war. Behind every victory is a valley. The people you admire, the ones who have achieved something worth talking about, didn't get there because life made it easy for them. They got there because life tested them and they refused to break. Adversity was their training ground. And if you want to step into your greatness, you have to stop resisting adversity and start respecting it for what it is. The tool that builds the strongest version of you. There's a reason pressure creates diamonds. It's because only under intense heat and pressure does carbon transform into something precious, something rare, something unbreakable. You are no different. The pressure you're feeling, the trials you're facing, the pain you're walking through, it's not the end of you, it's the making of you. When life squeezes you, it's trying to extract the greatness buried inside. It's trying to get you to level up. But most people tap out too early. They feel the squeeze, they feel the discomfort, and they retreat. They go back to safety. They run back to average. But nothing great is built in comfort. Nothing legendary is born in ease. Diversity demands that you show up. It demands that you grow. It forces you to confront parts of yourself that you've been avoiding. Your insecurities, your fears, your doubts, they all get exposed when adversity enters the room. That's the gift. That's how you grow. You can't fix what you won't face, and adversity forces you to face it all. The lies you believed about yourself, the limits you put on your dreams, the habits that kept you stuck. Adversity brings them to the surface so you can deal with them, so you can overcome them, so you can rise. There's a difference between people who get stronger through adversity and those who get stuck in it. The difference is in how they see it. Some people see adversity as a wall, others see it as a door. If you see it as a wall, you'll stop when you hit it. You'll say, "This is too hard. I guess it's not meant for me." But if you see it as a door, you'll realize it's the very entrance to the next level of your life. You'll understand that this isn't where it ends, it's where it begins. You won't be intimidated by the resistance. You'll be motivated by it. You'll learn to expect it. Because you know that adversity is a signal that you're on a path to something meaningful, your mindset in adversity determines your outcome. If you go into every battle thinking you're the victim, thinking the world is against you, thinking life is unfair, then you'll never tap into your real power. But if you walk into the storm with the mindset of a warrior, believing that everything you're going through is training, every obstacle is an opportunity, and every setback is a setup, then there's nothing that can stop you. You won't fold. You won't break. You'll rise. And when you do, you'll be unrecognizable to the person you used to be. Adversity also reveals your circle. When things are good, everybody wants to be around. But when life gets hard, the truth shows up. You find out who's really in your corner. You find out who's loyal, who believes in you, who's willing to stand by you, even when the shine wears off. And that clarity is a blessing. Adversity clears out the fake, exposes the weak, and highlights the strong. It helps you build relationships that are rooted in truth, not convenience. Not convenience. And those relationships, they're the ones that will carry you through the next storm. You gotta understand, there's a strength inside of you that only adversity can unlock. You don't know how powerful you are until powerful you are until powerful is the only option you got. You don't know how resilient you are until life knocks you down and you get back up again. You don't know what you're truly capable of until adversity pushes you to the edge and you choose to fly instead of fall. That strength has been in you all along, but adversity is what draws it out. Don't ask for an easy life. Ask for the strength to handle the life you've been given. Ask for the wisdom to grow through what you go through, what you go through. Ask for the fire to keep going when everything says stop. Because life is not about avoiding the hard time. It's about learning how to thrive in the middle of them. It's about becoming someone who